Hello and welcome to Bloomington Today. I'm Judy Sky-Voss, and this is the buzz for the week of August 22nd through the 28th. I'm in Bloomington's South Loop District, an area with urban elements designed to attract both business and artists. I'll share more on that in just a bit, but first, let's take a tour with some special guests inside Civic Plaza. Jeez. It was cameras, lights, and a day of action for exchange students from Bloomington's sister city, Izumi, Japan. The 6 college and high school students, along with 2 chaperones and an interpreter, took in some TV production talk from Municipal Cable TV coordinator Tim Sass and took a turn at reading off the studio teleprompter.
For the week of March 29th to April 3rd.
Very nice.
Then they traveled downstairs at Civic Plaza for a walk through Bloomington's Center for the Arts. And, of course, the tour wouldn't be complete without a warm welcome and a bit of Q&A from Mayor Winstead.
Do you like Japanese food?
The Japanese food?
Yes.
I found the food to be, for the most part, very good.
The customary exchange of gifts and some final paparazzi-style photo sessions captured memories of a day that surely left a lasting impression on these young visitors. In January, the NOAA group identified as a key focus the need for a fair housing policy. That policy was drafted and then passed by the City Council on August 6th. So what does it mean and who does it impact? We spoke with the chair of Bloomington's Human Rights Commission to find out.
NOAA working group, which is naturally occurring affordable housing, they wanted to get together and talk about what the city has. What are we doing now? What's our current stock of affordable housing? And then how can we ensure that that's going to stay around to encourage a vibrant workforce? Naturally occurring affordable housing is just housing that anyone would be able to afford, spending no more than 30% of their income. Whether you're making a lot of money or a little money, to make sure that there is the availability for you to live within the city here. So the community development as well as the HRA took this information from that working group and tried to devise some sort of a plan, an action plan and a policy that we could propose to City Council to say this is something the city stands for. I think a big piece of putting this policy in place is really taking the time to dive in and take that assessment right now and then find out what's going to help us move forward is going to be our best plan of action from here. So I think there's 2 big pieces. One is to make sure that city staff is properly trained in human rights aspects, especially when it relates to housing. So when they're making decisions, they have kind of that knowledge to start with. I think that's a huge piece. And then also allowing the Human Services division to really step out and be a leader in reaching out to the community. What are their ideas? What are their thoughts? How can we assist? A big piece that we want to protect are people with disabilities, working both with fair housing as well as the Americans with Disabilities Act. We have just over 10% of our population are going to be people with disabilities, and making sure that they have that access for housing as well. Just over 20% of our population is going to be racially diverse. So are there things such as, are things available in multiple languages? Can we help them with questions? Is that out there? And also looking at just people living in poverty and making sure that they also have places to live, whether that's through a subsidized program or just naturally occurring affordable housing. Do they have a place that they can call home here within Bloomington? The city cares about housing. The city cares about the developers. The city cares about new development, but the city also cares about the people living and working within Bloomington. We want to make sure that everyone is aware where the city stands. So having a policy in place that kind of guides the city and shares that information with the population, whether it's new developers, construction, or just the people that live here, if they understand where the city stands and where they're headed, it makes there a little bit more certainty, and that makes everyone's life easier.
Opposed, motion carries 7-0.
Here in the South Loop, it's the law of attraction between growing the business base and drawing in local artists. It's a perfect palette with the help of creative placemaking.
There was a recent study by the Knight Foundation. It actually found that cities with the highest levels of attachment have the highest rate of GDP growth. So the 3 biggest factors for attachment include openness, welcomeness, aesthetics, and social offerings. And creative placemaking as a process really weaves all 3 of those factors into the development, the process, and the implementation of projects that are creative and artistic in the community. I think when a lot of corporations see a creative, thriving community where the basis is creating something that's distinct and walkable, they understand that people are more likely to want to work there, to live there, to visit, and they see that there's economic impact that's being provided by the arts and cultural resources in that area. So there is a South Loop District Plan that provides a 40-year plan to create a more urban, mixed-use, walkable, vibrant destination and area for people to live, work, and visit. Right now we're located in front of an art box that we recently produced with an artist who actually lives here in South Loop. His name is Jesse Golfus, and so he produced this mural by reflecting on the animals and the kind of condition of South Loop. So there's some airplane elements in it as well. We've worked on 2 other sets of art boxes. One other set is by Eric Slutton, and that's in Bloomington Central Station Park. And those boxes are actually hand painted as opposed to being wrapped. The other box is by artist Teresa Cox, and it also reflects on South Loop's history and geography, and that's located on Killebrew right across the street from Mall of America. So right now we have a call for art, so it's an open application for art boxes, so these utility boxes that will be wrapped. And it's open to anyone. You can be an artist, but you don't have to identify as an artist, and you don't have to have any experience in public art. It's open to people working in any medium, so maybe you're a quilter, or a poet, or a photographer, or a mosaic artist. All that we need from you is a high-resolution image of that artwork or of your artwork, so that we can work with our vendor to wrap the box. We do provide a $1,000 honorarium to that selected artist, and the deadline's August 31st.
And that is the buzz for Bloomington Today for the week of August 22nd through the 28th. If you would like to watch other stories from the show, go to this week's playlist. There you'll find moms and babies gathered together in celebration of World Breastfeeding Week. Manufacturing is making a comeback in the business world. Learn about a couple of manufacturing companies here in Bloomington. Thanks for watching.